Hello there, and welcome to part 5 of WhatIf Charlos joins the Strawhats, an April Fool joke of a series where Charlos does not want to help a person in need, so the entire crew does not help her, as they don't really care much about the person. How will the story go? For that, continue watching. So without any further ado, let's get started! With Charlos not really wanting to help Nefertari Vivi, Nami doesn't really try to negotiate with her, even though Igaram pleads with them. Vivi tells them that they don't need their help. Now that they know who the leader of the Baroque works is, all they need to do is to reach Alabasta through the eternal post that they have with them. Zoro, Charlos, and Nami let them go, after which they decide to stock up the ship with the things that the bounty hunters have collected and stored. The entire Straw Hats leave the next day, not realizing just how their destiny is altered, how they lost a friend they were close with in the canonical timeline. The next island is Little Garden, where they meet Brogy and Dory, two giants, who tell them the unfortunate news. The time for the log post to point towards the next island is a year, making Nami scream in frustration. Luffy decides to hold a party to celebrate meeting the giants, and without the interruption of the Baroque works, it goes without a hitch. About the Baroque works are not following Straw Hats since Straw Hats didn't help Vivi in this timeline. About Vivi though, she travels to Alabasta with Igaram to stop the war. Miss All Sunday, or otherwise known as Nico Robin, lets Vivi do whatever she wants since Robin really isn't loyal to Baroque Works and its leader, Mr. Zero, or Crocodile. As Vivi reaches Alabasta, she tries to stop the war by going to the rebel army's leader, Koza, who was her best friend when she was little. Unfortunately, she gets captured by Mr. 3 who was waiting for her. Mr. 3 brings Vivi and Igaram to Crocodile as Crocodile kills Igaram and takes Vivi hostage against her will, deciding to use Vivi in negotiating with Vivi's father, King Cobra. King Cobra complies with Crocodile as Crocodile threatens Vivi's life for the location of the poneglyphs and takes Robin with him to decipher it. Robin reads the poneglyph, realizing that it contains the location of Pluton rather than the history of the world that she desperately wanted to know, and lies to Crocodile, knowing that what kind of chaos he will cause with Pluton. Crocodile stabs Robin as he didn't trust her to give him the answer to begin with. Sure, Pluton would help him, but his original plan was much more achievable by himself, rather than depending on the only person in the world to decipher poneglyphs. He leaves Robin for dead, and Robin, who does not have any will to live due to her last hope of knowledge gone, dies all alone in the closed tomb next to the poneglyph, but keeps Vivi alive for some sick amusement. Crocodile orchestrates a grand plan as he uses Mr. 2, Born Crate, to disguise as the dead King Cobra and uses his Devilfoot ability, along with many of the other Baroque members, to deceive the public, leading to the revolt against the country. Crocodile uses Mrs. Double Finger, Mr. 3, Mrs. Golden Week, Mr. 4, Mrs. Merry Christmas, Mr. 5, and Mrs. Valentine as hired mercenaries from King Cobra's side, killing innocents before Crocodile swoops in to save the day, killing all of the Baroque members except Mr. 1 since Mr. 1 is completely loyal to him. Mr. 3 is the only one smart enough to realize the trap, and so he and Mrs. Golden Week escape in the nick of time before they get killed, but the rest are not so lucky as Crocodile becomes hero of Alabasta, overthrowing the kingdom's rule over the people as he becomes the de facto leader of the rebels, storming the castle and killing all of the soldiers. Vivi sees her kingdom fall apart, and she dies from seeing the entire thing transpire, biting her tongue to kill herself. Sad. Anyways, Luffy and the crew leave behind Little Garden the next day, bored out of their minds since they don't have a proper destination. Nami isn't really as sick as she doesn't really get bit by the insect that almost killed her. They eventually arrive at Drum Island, having an encounter with Warport before, but the villagers are being hostile against them, so they leave the island, never meeting Chopper, and losing a potential crewmate. They eventually reach Alabasta, but they just stay there for a day to restock and stuff before leaving the island, losing another crew member, Robin. Their journey has been boring a little, but they eventually reach Jaya, where they get to know about the Sky Island. Luffy wants to go there, but they are embarrassed by a pirate named Bellamy, and that is where they meet Marshall D. Teach, not knowing who he really is. Without Robin, they wouldn't really get to know about Mont Blanc Cricket, but as they are leaving the island, they see the other side of Jaya where they meet Cricket, who tells them about the way to get to their new destination, Skypiea. Bellamy attacks Cricket as the Straw Hats are not there, leading to Luffy beating the hell out of him and getting Cricket's things back. Cricket helps them get to Skypiea, where they meet Cornus and her father, Pagaya. They also get to know about a god living in this place, which ticks Carlos off. The fact that some nobody who no one even knows exists calls himself a god pisses him off. So when the crew is kidnapped, he wants to beat the absolute living shit out of the so-called god. He has learned something new that he wants to try, and NL will be the perfect punching bag. Thanks to Sanji joining the crew, Sanji teaches Charlos how to fight with his legs, using the slipperiness to his advantage, while Zoro and Luffy teach him hand-to-hand combat with his fists, making him somewhat of a fighter. Charlos is with Luffy and Sanji, while Usopp is with Nami and Zoro as they are taken by a huge crab to some altar. As Luffy, Sanji, and Charlos chase after them, they meet Satori, one of the ordeals of the god, especially ordeals of balls. As Luffy, Charlos, and Sanji fight him, they are annoyed by his ability to read every move they make through a concept called mantra. As a cloud ball made of weapons comes near Charlos and explodes, all the weapons slide out of Charlos' body, making Satori shocked enough to lose control over his mantra, allowing Sanji, Luffy, and Charlos to eventually take the win. The three of them regroup with the other three, who explain their situation. Due to not having Robin and Usopp and Nami being scaredy cats, Zoro stays with the going merry. As they are attacked by another one of the ordeals named Shura, which Zoro deals easily due to his ability to cut steel now, which he has been practicing for a while. They discuss on what to do next as Luffy suggests exploring the entire island tomorrow, and everyone agrees, even though there is some reluctance. The next day, Sanji stays with Nami and Usopp to protect the ship as Luffy, Zoro, and Charlos explore the island. Enel, the god of Skypiea, knows what is going on, and in his amusement, he declares a game where only 5 members will come out on top. He decides to deal with someone who insulted him earlier. Now, as Charlos walks alone in the forest, he is surprised by Enel arriving next to him, as Enel introduces himself as God, pissing Charlos off. Charlos calls him a false god, as Charlos is the true god, and it is his dream to sit on the highest throne in the world, only reserved for the truest god, pissing off Enel. Enel stabs him with his staff, which slips off Charlos' body as Charlos closes in for an attack which goes through Enel's body, making them both surprised at each other. As Charlos goes for a spinning kick, Enel decides to end this as he uses his devil fruit, the Rumble fruit, to generate a lightning bolt and fires at Charlos, which slips off him, making Enel shocked to the core. And that is where I'm going to be ending this part for right here. With Charlos' slippery body even slipping past lightning, how will the story go? Will Charlos win against the self-proclaimed god? Will Enel tweak out and destroy the entire island? What are Zoro and Luffy doing? For all that to be answered, continue watching this series. If you guys like the story, then do not forget to like the video, share it with your fellow weebs, subscribe for more great content, and comment your opinions down below. Until then, ta-ta!